Hey guys, Mark McKillier here with Live Anabolic, and today I want to show you my 3 tricks to building really huge shoulders. Now guys, shoulders is probably one of my favorite muscle groups to work because if you build big, wide, impressive shoulders, you're going to look great in shirts. All right, now I happen to be wearing a tank top now, so you can actually see the muscle striations when I'm working out, and I can point to the front, the laterals, and the rear part. Remember, your shoulders consist of 3 different muscle groups, okay? So we want to be able to hit all 3. But the trick is how you hit them, all right? I love doing this. You guys need to try to work this into some of your exercise routines. And the first thing is I want to talk about drop sets. This is a really cool muscle group to do drop sets with because you get a crazy burn, okay? And you get a ton of lactic acid going, and then the pump is phenomenal, okay? And the other thing is, this particular exercise that I'm going to show you, you don't have to use a lot of weight, so it doesn't put a lot of strain on my shoulders, okay? Especially for you guys that might have bad shoulders, okay? I'm going to show you how to do drop sets with lateral raises. So, real quick here, guys. All right, this is not about how to do the raises so much as how to do a drop set. So, you pick a weight. I want you to pick a weight you can do about 10 times, maybe 12, okay? And then at the end of those 10 to 12 reps, you need to be close to failure, okay? And so the weight you pick is going to be different for everybody because you're going to be really tired and out of breath. Plus, you're feeling that blood going in there and that burn just starting. I'm going to put this down, okay? And then I'm going to drop down to a lighter weight, okay? I'm not dropping the weights, I'm dropping the amount of weight, okay? And I want you guys to drop about 25 to 35% of what you started with. So it's a percentage. And then basically you go until you're almost at failure, okay? And then I'm gonna drop the weight again. This is called a double drop set. And you finish it off, guys. So what happens is at the end of this double drop set, you're going to end up having done probably anywhere from 20 to 25 total reps, okay? And this is a really clever way to do a high rep set without using just a really, really light weight to start off with. So you pick a weight that it normally is difficult to do for 10 reps. So you're engaging a big percentage of your muscle fibers, okay? Because you have to recruit a lot to do a heavy weight. But then when those get fatigued, okay, and can't contract anymore, you drop the amount of weight down and you can keep forcing your body, your shoulders in this case, to pump out more and more reps, cramming a ton of blood into these shoulders. And then that burn you feel, that's lactic acid building up. That's a byproduct, okay, of your muscles working without oxygen, okay? And they create lactic acid. Well, when you stop for a minute, okay, or 2, the blood circulates, it takes the lactic acid, sends it to your liver, and it converts it back into glycogen, which we use as energy for our muscles, sends that glycogen back to your shoulders, and that's the energy that you're going to use to contract those same muscle fibers in a few minutes when you do your next set. All right, another little secret I have for building really impressive shoulders is the use of supersets. Now guys, supersets is a term to describe doing 2 completely different exercises back to back with no rest. Now, those exercises could be targeting completely different muscles like chest and back, biceps and triceps, or in this case, I'm going to be working my front part of my shoulders and then I'm going to work the rear part. So, really, really clever way to do this. All right, I'm going to be doing dumbbell front delt raises, okay? So I'm just going to be pulling these things straight up and I'm really focusing on that front part of my shoulder. Remember, the shoulders are made up of 3 different muscles, the front, the sides, and the rears, okay? So these front delt raises are really focusing on the front And my rear delts basically are getting absolutely no work right now, okay? So the rear delts are doing nothing. Knock out about 10 to 12 of these. And then when you get really fatigued, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna superset it with no rest. And we're gonna go straight to rear delt raises. All right, so, woo, I mean, hopefully you can see it on camera here, the pump is really going. And what happened there was I got so fatigued, okay, right up here, I could feel the burn going, okay, when I was doing the front raises. Then I bent over and started focusing on my rears. Well, guess what, when I'm doing my rears, I wasn't using the front part of my shoulder at all. It was kind of recuperating and resting, okay. Then my rears really started to burn once I got to about the 10th rep. Now I can stop, catch my breath, and I can do this all over again. But when you're doing drop sets or supersets, all right, we're doing back-to-back exercises with basically no rest. And what does that mean? It means that the intensity has really been ramped up. We're doing a whole lot more reps without resting, and that means you're gonna need a longer rest period before you get in and do it again. So if you normally are used to resting 60 seconds between sets, let's say, when you do a drop set, or in this case, a superset, you're probably thinking more like 2, maybe even 3 minutes, just depending on how hard you hit it. So don't be surprised if it takes longer to recuperate. Okay, my third and final secret to building big shoulders is the use of what I call rest pause sets. This is very similar to what we've been doing, but it has a nice little twist. So guys, I'm not gonna change the weight. I'm gonna use the same amount of weight. I'm gonna do the exact same exercise, okay? But instead of resting the normal amount of time, say a minute, minute and a half, we're just gonna call it a pause. We're only gonna stop for about 15 seconds. So basically, it gives our body time to flush some of that lactic acid that's building up and creating that burning effect in the muscles. It gives it just enough time to flush that out, okay? And then we start right back up. So let me just demonstrate how to do a seated military press with dumbbells and making use of the rest pause technique. All right, so here we go. All right, so pick a weight you can do about 10 to 12 times. Whew, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11. All right, that's about 15 seconds. Get it back up and finish off. 2, 3. All right, guys. Remember, you can use that technique on other muscle groups, and a lot of people forget about this. It's a really clever, creative way, especially when you're working out at home and you don't have access to all the fancy equipment at a gym. Really easy way to ramp up the intensity and cause a lot of damage to these muscle fibers. Remember, that's what we're trying to do. We actually are trying to damage the muscle fiber. So if you're lifting a really light weight and you're stopping way before you get to failure, you're not doing much damage to the muscles, and hence you won't see much growth. Guys, the harder you push it, the more pain, so to speak, there is. That's where the gain comes, right? No pain, no gain. There is a lot of truth to that. So rest pause sets are a really clever way to ramp up the intensity, especially on shoulders. All right, guys, I hope you liked my 3 secrets to building really impressive, massive shoulders. And I do this stuff all the time. It works fantastic for me, and I promise, guys, if you work these techniques into your weekly workout programs, especially on shoulders, I promise you guys are gonna see some fantastic results. You just have to do it on a regular basis. So guys, give us a little thumbs up, like, share this with some of your buddies, subscribe to the channel, and then as always, You can't build big shoulders overnight. You have to stick with it and never give up on yourself.